My name is Sarah, a 50-year-old office worker. My only daughter, Emily, graduated from college and started working. I thought that from now on, my husband John and I could live peacefully together. We've always been a close couple, but as Emily grew up, I felt a bit of distance between John and me. John didn't really help with raising Emily, so I couldn't rely on him, and I think that this gradual disconnect was the cause of our strained relationship. That's why I wanted to repair our relationship and spend our later years together happily. However, after Emily started living on her own, John started coming home less and less. Then, 6 months later, John told me he wanted to divorce me. I was shocked by the suddenness, but the words he said were even more devastating.
I have someone else I love.
I was stunned by those words. Even though I felt the distance growing between us, I only had eyes for him. But when he said those words, my feelings cooled, and I no longer felt the need to stay married. So I agreed to the divorce without much fuss. Will you remarry after our divorce?
Yes, I'll remarry. It's not that I dislike you or want to hurt you, but I want to live with the person I truly love.
I see. Well, be happy. John looked a bit puzzled by my response.
Aren't you upset?
About what?
Our divorce. You seem surprisingly okay with it.
Well, I think I kind of knew. I sensed that your feelings had drifted away. Honestly, even when you said you don't dislike me, it didn't matter to me. The moment you mentioned divorce, I was completely over it.
I see. I'm sorry for acting tough. I'll make sure to pay the alimony and leave you the house.
Thanks.
Actually, I have a 3-year-old child.
What?
I have a 3-year-old child with the person I'm going to marry.
Are you serious? So, you have a child 20 years younger than Emily?
Yeah, that's right. My new family is with them now, not here. With the house and alimony, you'll be fine, right?
Yes, I'll have our divorce papers ready soon.
Wait, you're going now?
When else should I go? Honestly, I was ready for you to bring the papers already.
I'm sorry.
Let me go get them now, so please wait here. Also, please handle the transfer of the land and house titles and the alimony by the end of this week. If we can do the title transfer on Tuesday, that would be ideal for me since I have work commitments.
Yeah, I understand, but everything is happening so fast. I'm the one who brought this up, and I can't keep up.
That's because you approached me about the divorce with a half-hearted attitude, right? You've always been like that, testing me whenever we talk about something serious, like breaking up. But we're at an age where that kind of behavior just makes me lose interest. And hearing that you have a child just makes it worse.
But you don't really want a divorce, do you?
I told you, I don't mind. You really need to get it together. Just wait here. I'm going to get the divorce papers. You tend to change your mind quickly, and I don't want any last-minute changes. I hurried to get the divorce papers. And then, I had John sign them immediately.
We're really getting divorced, right?
John kept muttering to himself. I told John to leave the house within 5 days and kicked him out that day. Then, I contacted Emily to let her know about the divorce. After work, I headed to Emily's apartment to tell her. I'm getting a divorce from John.
Really? That's probably for the best.
You're surprisingly okay with it too.
Didn't you resist at all?
I just lost my feelings for him. And besides, he has a child. A 3-year-old.
A child 20 years younger than me? Wow.
I said the same thing. It's just ridiculous, isn't it?
Ridiculous? It's creepy. But knowing Dad, make sure you get everything in writing.
Why?
Because Dad never keeps his promises, right?
That's true. He's always been like that.
He always says he forgot, but this isn't something he can forget about.
John said he'd give me the house and alimony.
Then make sure that's written down clearly. He'll probably say he never agreed to give you the house in a month.
You're right. Even if it's in writing, he'll probably say something, but it's better to have it documented.
Are you planning to live in that house?
No, I don't plan to. John was the one who brought up the divorce, but when I agreed easily, he panicked. He'll probably want to come back eventually.
That's likely. You can live at my place. Dad doesn't know where I live, so he won't be able to find you.
Really? Then I might take you up on that.
I don't know how much alimony you'll get from Dad, but it probably won't be much.
Yeah, I can't expect much money from John.
Exactly. So, for now, live in my apartment, and we'll figure things out after selling the house.
Thanks for everything, even though it's my issue.
I'm just like you, Mom. I'm more reliable than you think.
Thank you. Thanks to Emily, I felt a bit more at ease. After finalizing the paperwork with John, I quickly sold the house. Living in Emily's apartment was too cramped for the two of us, so I used the money from selling the house and the alimony to sign a lease for a new condo. 2 weeks later, out of the blue, John contacted me and asked me to meet his girlfriend. Honestly, I didn't want to meet her and found it annoying. It doesn't matter to me who he's involved with now. However, he kept contacting me persistently, so I reluctantly agreed to meet with him. When I met them at the restaurant, I was shocked to see the woman sitting next to John. It was my younger sister, Mary, who is 15 years younger than me. Mary?
Hi, Sarah. Long time no see. I've taken John for myself.
Mary is my half-sister. She's the daughter of my dad and his second wife, whom he married after my mom passed away. There's a significant age gap between Mary and me, so I don't have many memories of talking with her. Honestly, I've always thought of her more as a distant cousin than a sister. Before she was old enough for me to find her cute, I had already left home for college, so we didn't interact much. What does Mary want from me now? I hardly ever went back to my dad's house because I didn't want to intrude on their family. So, in essence, we're practically strangers. However, the fact that John is involved with Mary made me feel extremely nauseous and disgusted. Then Mary suddenly said something that made no sense.
Hey, we don't have a place to live. Can you give us the house back?
No way.
Please, Sarah, can't you reconsider?
I'm not reconsidering. Actually, I can't reconsider. John, you arrogantly said you would give me the house, and we documented it. It's legally mine now, and I've already sold it. So, you'll have to buy it back yourselves.
Why would you do that? That house is full of our memories. Why sell it?
I don't need memories with you. We're divorced now, remember? Do you think I'd miss our memories together? If anything, I don't want them.
Please don't say that.
Then Mary suddenly remembered something and raised her voice.
Oh, then give us the money from selling the house.
Of course not. Our agreement states $15,000 in alimony. The house and land are in my name, and no asset division. So, no matter what I do with my property, there's no way any money will come to you.
What? I can't believe this.
I'm glad I had everything in writing. John, you always change your mind. Emily told me that if I didn't get it in writing, there'd be trouble. Emily is smart, so John, hurry up and pay the alimony. Once you pay the alimony, we won't have any connection at all. So just pay it now.
Wait a moment.
Then Mary suddenly walked out. When she returned, she was carrying their child in her arms. His face was very red. Wait a minute, you didn't leave him in the car, did you?
Yeah, but it's been almost an hour, so I thought I should bring him in.
An hour? We got to the restaurant 30 minutes ago. What were you two doing, leaving the child alone?
We did a bit of shopping. It's no big deal.
No big deal? Are you serious? Poor thing. Here, drink some water. I gave the child some water, and he drank it eagerly. They can't even take proper care of their child. They must have been so focused on getting John that they neglected him. John had told me the child was 3 years old, but he seemed very small for his age. They probably weren't feeding him properly. I can't believe this. Anyway, make sure you take proper care of your child. And remember, we're divorced, so it's none of my business. John must have some income, right? So you can live in a better house than that one.
Really? I don't know much about his income yet. For now, we're just living together.
Is that so? By the way, shouldn't you discuss these things with your family before coming to me about the house?
Well, relying on poor Sarah is just how it is. Let's go home for now. We need to plan our new place.
John and Mary left. Neither of them seemed to understand their own reality, so they'll have to figure it out themselves. I smiled to myself and left the restaurant to go home. A month later, Mary contacted me.
Sarah, I need to talk to you.
She sounded pretty desperate, so I got Emily's approval and invited her to our condo.
What is this place? It's bigger than our house.
Mary was surprised as soon as she walked in. Emily and I live in a high-rise condo. I earn a decent salary, so living in a place like this isn't an issue. Plus, with the alimony and the money from selling the house and land, I have plenty of money. It might be a bit mean, but I invited her over to show off a little.
It's not fair, Sarah. John doesn't have any money. You knew that, didn't you?
Well, I did, but I didn't think it was necessary to mention. Actually, John's income was only around $2,000 a month. Combined with my salary, we managed, but John spent money recklessly despite his low earnings. And he never kept track of his income, so he often spent more than double what he earned in a month. Not knowing this fact, John probably thought he had a good income because they had been managing to get by so far. That couldn't be further from the truth. And Mary, relying on John's income, ended up quitting her job. So, when she found out John's actual earnings, she was shocked at how little he made. It's common sense to understand your partner's income before quitting your job, and living with John should have made it obvious how he spent money. Mary probably thought that because John spent money freely, he must have been wealthy. That's just her own fault.
Did you make more money than John?
Yes, after all, I'm 50 years old. At my age, you can earn a decent salary if you've been working long enough.
How much are you making?
I don't really like talking about money, but I make at least 3 times what John does.
No way. You make that much?
Otherwise, how do you think we managed to live with John's income?
Then you should have made John face reality. He probably doesn't understand anything because you didn't tell him.
John has a lot of pride, but he's also very sensitive. It was just too much hassle to tell him. And since we're a family, it didn't matter whose money it was, so I didn't see the point in saying anything.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe this. I'm going to leave John. Besides, the child isn't even his.
What? Really?
Yes. I don't want to have a baby with an old man like him.
I see. Well, that doesn't really matter to me, but you need to tell John yourself. It's not my business, but if he finds out, you might end up paying a lot in alimony for deception. If you think he's an old man, why did you get involved with him in the first place?
The real father of my child abandoned us, so I had to raise the child alone. That meant I couldn't go out and have fun. So I thought I'd find an old fool to take care of us. Then I realized that John's older than you, Sarah. Men are stupid and prefer younger women, right? So I seduced him, and he fell for it easily. It was laughable. I thought it would be easier to get involved with someone nearby, but in the end, he turned out to be worthless.
Where did you meet him?
John always stopped by the supermarket after his work, so I hit on him there. Well, more like I pretended to trip and fell into his arms. He got all flustered. It's hilarious. He got so nervous just because a young woman leaned on him. Then I pretended not to notice and asked, "Hey, aren't you Sarah's husband?" And we exchanged numbers easily. And even though we only slept together once, he really believed the baby was his. Men really know nothing, do they? It's so funny. I was already 5 months pregnant by then.
John really doesn't understand anything. It's almost pitiful, but I don't care anymore.
But it's surprising that you stayed married to such a loser for so long. You must have strange tastes.
Well, you were dumb enough not to notice either. You've been with him for quite a while too, right?
Yeah, but still.
So, not noticing makes you even dumber. Marriage isn't something to be taken lightly. You can't just get married without knowing anything. Although, I can't really talk since I didn't realize you were having an affair with him.
What the hell? This is so infuriating.
Mary yelled, made a strange noise, and stormed out of the house. What was that all about? But really, John is just so clueless. It's exasperating. 2 weeks later, John showed up at my place. I hadn't told him where I lived, so how did he find out? As soon as he entered, the reason became clear.
I followed you, so I figured out where you live.
Do you realize that's stalking? That's literally a crime.
Well, we were married, so it doesn't count.
Whatever. What do you want?
Mary dumped me.
Really? I didn't know that. I pretended to be surprised. Then he started talking nonstop.
She said the kid isn't mine, and when I got mad, she said my income was too low. You never said anything like that to me before, and I've always been able to buy whatever I wanted. So that can't be true. And yet, she blames me for her reckless spending. It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Well, maybe.
But I have you and Emily. Emily is definitely my child, and from now on, I'll be devoted to you too.
What are you talking about?
I even quit my job to focus on you guys. I'll be a stay-at-home dad, so you can count on me.
Does John really think I don't know anything? Hey, I heard from Mary.
What?
I know everything from Mary.
What do you mean by everything?
You got fired, didn't you? I know Mary dumped you, but I also know you got fired. I can't believe you.
But I couldn't help it. If I told you, there'd be no going back, right?
Even if you didn't say anything, there's no going back. So why did you get fired? Since I already know, just tell me the reason.
The company had an issue with me having an affair, but the real problem was that I used company funds for my dates with Mary. They called it embezzlement. Don't you think the company is being stingy?
It's not stingy at all. It's completely reasonable. Considering you were already relying on my income, what were you thinking? Using company money as well?
What are you saying?
You've always had a low income, so without my earnings, you couldn't afford the things you wanted. No offense, but someone who only makes $2,000 a month at over 50 years old isn't much of a loss to the company, even if they don't fire you.
$2,000? What are you talking about?
That's your salary.
What?
I kept quiet because I didn't want to hurt your pride, but your annual income is less than a third of mine.
That can't be true. You never said anything like that before.
That's why I didn't say anything. Even if your salary was low, we were a married couple, and I thought as long as we could manage our living expenses together, it didn't matter. But honestly,
But if that's the case, it doesn't matter if my salary is gone, right? I can be a stay-at-home husband and take care of you too. You won't have to do any housework. Isn't that great?
It might be great for you. Getting fired and staying home as a house husband sounds perfect for you. But you're the only one who benefits from that. You're old enough to take responsibility for your actions.
But did I really say I wanted a divorce? Didn't I just ask if we should? In the end, you were the one who said you wanted the divorce, right? I still love you.
You know, you said something like, "My family is Mary and the baby." You only think about yourself. And if you want to say I asked for the divorce, that's fine by me. But there's no way I'm taking you back.
Don't say that. Oh wait, maybe I did say I wanted a divorce. I take it back. Let's get back together. At your age, it's not like you have many options. You can't remarry, and you don't want to spend your old age alone, do you?
Let me give it back to you. Who would want to be with someone who got fired and has no money? You don't even have a place to live. No company will rent to someone with no income.
Then let me stay here. Why are you being so heartless? I get it. You're hurt and trying to be tough because I betrayed you. But you don't have to be tough anymore. I'm back now.
Can you stop already? You've been talking nonsense. We have a contract from our divorce, and that's all that matters. There's no way I'm getting back with you now.
Don't say that, please.
You're really annoying.
Then, how about falling in love with me again?
What?
If we can't undo the divorce, you might still find love for me again since you loved me all this time. So let's fall in love again and enjoy our married life together with a fresh start. Emily is an adult now, so we can enjoy our retirement together in a new way.
You really are something else. I've completely lost any feelings for you, and after the divorce, I realized that what I felt for you was pity, not love. After being together for so long, I just felt sorry for you. You made less money than I did, and no matter how hard you tried, your salary never went up. I felt I couldn't abandon someone so pitiful, but when you betrayed me, that pity vanished, and now I'm free. Our new relationship is that of strangers, so get out of this house.
Why? Why did it end up like this?
John collapsed in tears. At that moment, Emily came out of her room.
Why? Because you betrayed us. Getting involved with Mary, who's closer in age to me than to you, is really disgusting.
Emily, you're here too. You want your dad around, right?
Did you hear what I just said? I said you're disgusting.
You and Sarah have similar personalities. You're probably just pretending to be tough, right?
I don't know why you think that, but we really don't need you. All my life, I thought you were the worst. You never looked at my test scores, and you ignored my drawings and letters I made for you. Mom always kept them and would tell me that you were happy, even though you never saw them yourself. I always thought Mom is enough. It doesn't matter if Dad is there or not.
Why would you say that? I worked hard for you.
Now that I'm an adult, I understand. There are people who can make money and those who can't. You left home at 9 a.m. and came back at 4 p.m. every day. There's no way someone like that could have a good income. $2,000 a month? That's less than my starting salary. Do we need a dad like that? No, we don't.
Do you think it's okay to say that to your dad?
You're just related by blood. Acting like a dad just because of that is troublesome for me. My friends would go on trips with their dads and had good relationships with them. But I never had that. Mom and I would always go on day trips alone. When I think about it, what were you even there for? We really don't need you anymore, so please leave. I've always wanted to say this. Some people might want to marry someone like their dad, but I never do. I want to marry someone who's nothing like you. You were just a burden on Mom and me. That felt good. Now, will you please leave?
With a cold expression, Emily told John. He was so shocked that he hurried out of the house. Seeing his shoulders shake, he was probably crying. Up until now, Emily had given up on John and never said anything to him. However, this time she clearly told him he wasn't needed, and while it was probably a huge shock for him, it was even sadder that Emily had to say such things. I don't know where John went or what he's doing after leaving the house, but the other day, Emily mentioned that she saw him working at a local supermarket while she was shopping. After getting fired from his company and being at a certain age, no company would hire him for a position, so he had to settle for part-time jobs. His family home is in a distant rural area, but John, who grew up in an education-focused household, hated it there. Normally, one would return to their family home, but he likely couldn't bear the thought of going back and hearing their complaints. He's probably living day to day in a small apartment. If he hadn't betrayed his family, he could have continued working in his familiar environment, albeit with a low salary, and wouldn't have lost his family. This is truly a case of reaping what you sow. As for Mary, she was in the news recently. She was arrested for leaving her child in a car. The child was unharmed and taken into protective custody. However, my dad went to pick up the child, and now the child is living at my parents' house. My dad and my stepmom, his second wife, are furious with Mary and plan to cut ties with her. My dad told me that during a visit, they informed her that they would never see the child again. I had distanced myself from my stepmom, assuming we couldn't have a good relationship simply because she was a stepmom. However, when I realized she had always been considerate of me, I regretted distancing myself. I thought they would side with Mary, but instead, they kept apologizing to me. Knowing that I was loved by my dad, mom, and stepmom warmed my heart. Since then, I've continued living with Emily. However, Emily recently told me that she had someone she wanted me to meet, so I prepared myself for the inevitable. I knew she had a boyfriend, so I assumed it was an introduction for marriage. I had decided to give Emily the condo when she got married, so I told her about it.
It's a bit early, but thank you.
I'm already looking forward to Emily's wedding. The greatest joy for a parent is seeing their children get married. I want to be there to see her happiness up close and send her off with love.